The time is now 5:53 on this Thursday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
Last night, two candidates running for the Wisconsin Supreme Court made their cases to voters during a live debate. Now, abortion rights and Elon Musk took the center stage in that heated debate for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Brad Schimmel and Susan Crawford squared off in their high-stakes debate before the election on April 1st. Schimmel is a Waukesha County Circuit Judge, while his opponent is a Dane County Circuit Judge. While it is technically a nonpartisan position, a lot is at stake because the winner will determine whether conservative or liberal justices control Wisconsin's highest court. Abortion remains a top issue in this race, with Schimmel saying the 1849 abortion ban should be decided by the voter, while Crawford says she believes women should make their own decisions. This race has already broken all spending records for a court race in the country's history. Nearly $59 million already spent, and there's still another 20 days to go until election.
A missing Iron Range man has been found dead. Authorities say they found Benjamin Sherwood's body at his home in Mountain Iron yesterday morning. He was reported missing around 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. Sherwood had suffered from a previous traumatic brain injury, and his wife said he had also recently slipped on the ice. No word yet on his cause of death, but no foul play is suspected.
A new bill introduced in the Minnesota Senate would require schools to be prepared in the case of a cardiac emergency. Senator Bonnie Westland, a DFLer representing Plymouth, introduced the legislation late February. It would require all Minnesota public and charter schools to have and fund a cardiac emergency response plan. The plan says schools must identify members of an emergency response team, list guidelines for responding to a cardiac arrest, and have AEDs nearby. AEDs would also need to be inside a school's athletic venue or within a 1 to 3 minute walk from the venue. The bill also requires all coaches and athletic staff to be CPR and AED trained. This legislation was referred to the Senate Education Finance Committee.
The city of Hibbing is addressing concerns about their drinking water after a recent discoloration. In a social media post, Hibbing Public Utilities reassured the community its drinking water is safe. They say the discoloration is from aging infrastructure and pipes, not mining operations. The utility company wants to clarify that they have not issued a boil advisory, and they conduct water quality testing daily with the State Department of Health, confirming their drinking water is meeting all standards.